chosen ones. If you find yourself reading these words, understand this: it is not by chance. Heaven has summoned your soul. You have not stumbled into this moment. You have been led. This message is not a suggestion. It is a summons, a quiet, sacred call to the one whose name has already been spoken in the unseen realm. You may not have heard it audibly, but your spirit recognized it. Something deep inside you began to stir before you even knew why. And now you're here, standing at the threshold between what has been and what is about to be. There is a shift occurring in your life, though it may not yet be visible. It is not loud, but it is powerful. Not obvious, but undeniable. This transition has been whispered in dreams, hinted at in moments of restlessness, confirmed in the discomfort you felt in places that once felt safe. You've outgrown environments, relationships, and identities that once defined you, and now the call is clear. It is time to rise quietly into your next. This is not just a season of change, it is a season of appointment. Heaven is not asking for your attention, it is commanding your alignment. You are not being called to continue as before. You are being called into something altogether new. A divine union is being prepared for you. A relocation is being orchestrated, and yet this summons is wrapped in stillness. You will not enter through shouting performance or premature announcement. You will enter through obedience, discernment, and holy restraint. You may have felt invisible, forgotten, or left behind, but nothing could be further from the truth. The quietness surrounding your life has not been abandonment, it has been consecration. You were pulled away from the noise so you could hear the whisper. You were hidden not to be dismissed, but to be refined. And now the heavens are moving again. The atmosphere has shifted. The winds have changed. You are being summoned into a divine moment that few recognize, but those who are chosen must respond to. So pause. Listen. Be still. This is not the time to run or to rush. This is sacred ground, and sacred things must be approached with reverence. Your next is not something to chase, it is something to receive with trembling joy and holy fear. And before anything else happens, before the marriage, before the move, this is what heaven asks of you. Recognize the call and honor it in silence. If these words spoke to the quiet places in your soul, comment 77. I hear the call below. It is not for attention, it is your agreement with heaven. A sacred yes, a silent alignment. Let the unseen realm know you recognize the summons and you are ready. For the chosen one, what is unfolding before you is not a mere coincidence of circumstances. It is a convergence. Two sacred doors are about to open in your life, the door of divine covenant and the door of relocation. They are not separate events. They are connected assignments. You are not just getting married. You are being partnered. And you are not simply moving to a new place. You are being positioned. The two are spiritually synchronized, and heaven has timed them to collide. What's coming is not the kind of relationship that the world celebrates, temporary, performative, or driven by need. This is alignment. This is heaven's response to years of preparation, years of being refined through pain, obedience, and isolation. This union is being written not by human hands, but by the author of destiny himself. You will not have to chase it, convince it, or manipulate it. You will recognize it because your spirit will leap before your mind can explain. And this move, this shift of physical space, it is the soil in which your next assignment will bloom. The marriage and the move are two wings of the same divine flight. Heaven is not just blessing you with companionship or shelter. It is trusting you with territory. You are being transferred from one season to another, and this transfer requires not just faith, but silence, wisdom, and surrender. The one who is coming into your life will not compete with your calling, they will carry it with you. And the place where you are going is not just a residence, it is a realm, a space where your spirit will breathe differently, where your anointing will flow freely, and where your destiny will be fully activated. As C.S. Lewis poignantly wrote in Mere Christianity, it may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. This divine convergence, marriage and relocation, is the breaking of your shell, the moment where you are called to shed the old and soar into the fullness of your purpose. You are not entering this new chapter to start over. You are stepping into it to step higher. Marriage will not complete you. It will multiply you. The move will not be an escape. It will be an elevation. And while others may see only the surface, new love, a new address, heaven knows what this really is, a divine deployment. And it cannot be delayed, but it also must not be disrupted by noise. That is why, before you enter, you must guard it. Do not speak too soon. Do not show too much. What is sacred must be sealed until it is strong enough to be revealed. What is holy must be hidden until heaven permits its unveiling. And right now the Spirit is saying, prepare in silence, move in obedience, receive without performance. For what's coming is not just for you, it is coming through you for generations, for legacy, for glory. Chosen one. The instruction to remain silent in this season is not a suggestion, it is a divine strategy. Silence is not passive. It is power restrained. It is wisdom wrapped in reverence. In a world that shouts every move and documents every breakthrough, heaven is calling you to the opposite, to conceal what is still forming, to protect what is still soft, to guard what has not yet taken root. What you carry is too sacred for premature exposure. C.S. Lewis, in the Screwtape Letters, reminds us courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. Your silence in this season is an act of courage, a deliberate choice to protect the sacredness of God's promise, standing firm against the temptation to seek validation from a noisy world. There is a reason the Spirit has restrained your tongue. Your silence is not punishment, it is protection. Not everyone around you is equipped to perceive the weight of what is about to unfold, and not every atmosphere is safe for revelation. Heaven knows that announcements made out of season can invite warfare. You are not assigned to fight. When seeds are planted too shallow, the wind of opinion can uproot them before they grow. So you must go underground, hidden, shielded, quiet, until the roots are deep enough to survive scrutiny. There are spiritual forces unseen, but alert, that are drawn not to what God is doing, but to what people reveal about it. The enemy is not all-knowing. He watches, listens, studies patterns, and when he cannot stop what heaven has decreed, he will attempt to delay, to distract, to derail, often through the words, "You release too soon." That is why silence is warfare. Every time you withhold what you could have said, you disarm a trap. Every time you keep your joy private, you frustrate the enemy's monitoring. Every time you whisper, instead of shout, you align more deeply with God's timing. Even Jesus, the Word made flesh, often moved in secrecy. He healed behind closed doors. He withdrew from the crowds. He instructed people not to speak of his miracles, not because they weren't real, but because revelation has a divine schedule. So must yours. This union, this move, this shift you feel coming, it is holy, and holy things are not to be thrown before casual eyes. Your silence is obedience in motion. It tells heaven that you trust the process. It tells God that he does not need your public declaration to validate his private promise. And it tells the spiritual realm that you are a mature steward of mystery. In silence, your roots go deeper. In silence, your spirit grows stronger. In silence, you become invincible to the voices that once weakened your faith. So do not explain yourself. Do not announce your plans. Do not justify your decisions. Let your obedience speak when the time is right. Let your fruit speak louder than your voice. And let the Spirit lead you not just into promise, but through it with precision and peace. Long before the promise arrives, heaven speaks in patterns. And chosen one, the signs around you are not random. They are divine breadcrumbs. What you've been feeling, the restlessness, the unease, the sudden shifts in your atmosphere, These are not emotional fluctuations. They are prophetic signals. They are heaven's quiet announcements that a new chapter has already begun to form in the invisible realm. Perhaps you've had dreams of marriage, vivid, unexpected, and recurring. Perhaps you've looked around your current space and felt an unshakable discomfort, a holy discontent that no longer allows you to feel at ease in the places that once felt like home. Doors have closed, sometimes without warning, sometimes without explanation. Relationships have drifted. Familiar circles no longer feel aligned. These are not rejections, they are recalibrations. As C.S. Lewis wrote in The Problem of Pain, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. The discomfort and disruption you feel are God's megaphone, shouting to awaken you to the divine alignment that is already in motion. God does not always move with trumpets and lightning. Often he speaks through a shift in energy, a conversation that suddenly feels off, an opportunity that once excited you but now feels like a cage, a friendship that fades quietly. These are not signs of loss. They are indicators that your spirit is being realigned for where you are going, not where you've been. And the more you try to force the old to fit, the more agitated your soul will become. What you are experiencing is spiritual evacuation. Heaven is removing you from what no longer matches your mantle. You are not being left behind. You are being lifted out. There are rooms that can no longer hold your growth. There are people who cannot see you at the level heaven is about to reveal. So don't grieve the silence. Don't mourn the closed doors. They are confirmations. The chosen often walk through seasons of divine contradiction. The outside looks still, but the inside is shaking. The calendar says nothing is happening, but the Spirit says something is shifting. Trust what you feel in your bones. The shift is already in motion, and while others may question what you're doing, heaven is applauding your restraint. You are not waiting for change. You are walking inside it. So listen closely. The disruption you're experiencing is not disorder, it's direction. The ending you didn't expect is the clearing you needed. The unanswered questions are your invitation into deeper trust. Do not look for stability where heaven has declared transition. Let go of trying to understand everything. Instead, discern the pattern God is moving, and your spirit already knows it. Chosen one, the love that is approaching your life is not an accident, not an escape, and certainly not a replacement for what was lost. It is an assignment. This love is not born of desperation or convenience. It is born of covenant. Heaven is not sending you someone to complete you. Heaven is releasing someone who has been forged in the fire for you, just as you have been forged for them. This union will not be like what you've known before. It will not be entangled in games, fear, or constant striving. It will carry the fragrance of peace, the weight of purpose, and the rhythm of spiritual alignment. You won't have to chase it, question it, or perform for it. It will feel like a return, like your spirit, finally recognizing what it has long been prepared to receive. The one heaven is sending will not only see your beauty, they will discern your calling. They will not only love you, they will guard your anointing. This is not a relationship of survival. This is a partnership of destiny. God is not giving you someone to distract you from your purpose, but someone who will deepen your walk, echo your prayers, and dream with the same urgency you carry. Together, you will not just share affection, you will carry out assignment. Together, you will birth things into the earth that neither of you could have fulfilled alone. And yes, it has taken time. You've wondered if heaven had forgotten. You've questioned your readiness. You've seen others receive and feared that somehow your story had stalled. But what's coming to you required preparation on both ends. God wasn't just preparing someone to love you, He was preparing someone worthy to build with you. He was healing your heart, refining your discernment, teaching you how to recognize sacredness when it finally arrives. So do not settle, do not shrink, do not reach back for what is familiar but unholy. The one who's coming will honor the battles you fought, to remain pure in a polluted world. They will not require you to explain your silence, your standards, or your scars. They will recognize your journey and reverence it. This love will be holy. It will be weighty. It will be protected, not paraded. It will be marked by prayer, sealed by purpose, and unveiled only at the pace heaven ordains. You will not have to convince anyone of its legitimacy. The fruit will speak, the timing will confirm, the peace will validate. So wait with confidence, prepare in reverence, and understand this: you are not behind. You are being aligned. The love heaven is bringing you is not late, it's right on schedule. And when it comes, it will feel less like falling and more like being found. Chosen one. This path you are walking is narrow, intentionally so. It is not that you are better than others. It is that you are marked for something they are not assigned to carry. And because of that, not everyone will be able to go with you. Not everyone can walk in the gravity of your next. Some were only meant to accompany you for a season, not for the fulfillment. You may have already begun to feel it. The conversations that don't land the same, the friendships that fade without explanation, the ones who once celebrated you, but now respond with silence, distance, or subtle resistance. Do not grieve what heaven is subtracting. God is not punishing you. He is protecting the purity of what he is about to entrust to you. Where you are going demands clarity. It requires consecration. There is no space in this next realm for divided loyalties or contaminated voices. You cannot carry everyone with you, not because they are evil, but because they are not assigned to your elevation. The weight of destiny is holy, and holiness demands separation. The higher the calling, the deeper the pruning. And some, though familiar, are no longer aligned. They loved the older version of you, the one who doubted herself, who needed their approval, who dimmed her light to stay small. But now that heaven is awakening your strength and drawing out your authority, they feel threatened by what you're becoming. They won't say it directly, but their distance will. Their silence will. Their subtle resistance will. Don't try to explain yourself. Don't chase after what's falling away. Heaven is filtering your circle on purpose. God is not only bringing the right person into your life, he is removing the ones who would have sabotaged the blessing once it arrived. Trust the pruning. It is not rejection. It is refinement. C.S. Lewis in The Four Loves wrote, "We may ignore, but we can nowhere evade the presence of God. The pruning you are experiencing is the inescapable presence of God, refining your path to ensure that only those aligned with his purpose remain by your side. Let them go quietly. Release them without bitterness. You don't need closure from those heaven never intended to take with you. You don't need agreement from those who cannot recognize what's growing in your spirit. You only need obedience. You only need peace. And you already have both. So walk forward. Don't look back. The ones who are meant for your next will not need to be convinced, coerced, or constantly reassured. They will recognize your anointing and honor your boundaries. They will protect what you're carrying because they've been appointed to walk beside you, not ahead of you, not beneath you, but beside you. As partners, as protectors, as proof that heaven knows exactly what you need. Chosen one, what you are stepping into is not just a change of scenery, it is a divine relocation of realms. This is not simply a physical move, it is a spiritual migration. You are not just being moved across geography, you are being shifted across dimensions. Heaven is transferring you from one level of identity, influence, and clarity into another, and the shift cannot be undone. There is a place prepared for you not just to live, but to build, a space where your voice will echo differently, where your prayers will strike deeper, where your spirit will find alignment with the frequency of your assignment. The house you are heading to is not just shelter, it is soil. Soil for vision, soil for covenant, soil for glory, to grow roots. And this is why the transition may feel weighty, because heaven does not move someone like you lightly. You were never meant to stay where you are. You've already outgrown the conversations, the atmospheres, the spiritual ceilings, and the discomfort you've been feeling. It's not resistance, it's preparation. It's the inner tension of a soul being stretched toward its true capacity. You've stayed faithful in a place that was safe for a season, but now it can no longer carry your next This shift will require you to leave behind more than objects. You will leave behind versions of yourself that no longer belong in the new dimension. You will shed layers of survival, shake off fear, and sever emotional attachments to places you once called home. Because this next space must be entered with clean hands and a willing heart, and the way you enter matters. You are not being ejected, you are being sent. You are not escaping something broken, you are embracing something sacred. The move will not be chaotic. It will be covered in peace, led by wisdom, wrapped in provision. You will know it is God, not just because the door opens, but because your spirit will rest, even while your flesh trembles. There is new ground with your name on it. There is atmosphere waiting for your authority. There are divine appointments linked to this new location that cannot happen until you arrive. So don't resist it. Don't delay it. And above all, don't announce it before it's time. You are not just crossing space. You are stepping into sacred territory. This is a dimensional shift, and it demands reverence. Chosen one, understand this with urgency. The enemy is not omniscient, but he is observant. He listens. He watches. He waits for you to reveal what heaven has kept hidden. And while he cannot read your mind, he can use your words against you. That is why this season demands silence, not as fear, but as wisdom. What you don't say right now will protect what God is preparing to show in fullness. There is warfare that only erupts when revelation is spoken too soon. There are destinies that have been delayed, not because of disobedience, but because of premature announcement. The enemy studies patterns. He monitors movement. He whispers into the ears of the insecure, the envious, the easily influenced. And when he hears a hint of what God is birthing in your life, he dispatches opposition, not always through obvious attacks, but through doubt, distraction, and subtle sabotage. Heaven has entrusted you with a secret, not to burden you, but to train you. The promise you're carrying must be incubated in privacy. Just as a seed must stay beneath the soil until it's strong enough to break through, your next must remain buried in obedience until heaven says, now. This is why you've been feeling the pull to withdraw. This is why your spirit resists sharing certain things even with people you love. The Spirit is guarding your mouth because your words hold access. There is a sacredness to what is unfolding that cannot be explained to those who are not spiritually equipped to understand it. And you don't owe anyone an explanation. Not yet. Not until God releases you to speak. Every time you withhold, you are building a shield. Every time you stay silent when you could speak, you are drawing a line of protection around your promise. Let the enemy be confused by your quiet. Let your stillness speak louder than your updates. Let those around you wonder, speculate, even misunderstand. You do not need to be seen right now. You need to be safe. And safety in this season looks like silence. The ones who truly walk with you in the Spirit won't need constant details. They will sense the weight on your life and cover you in prayer, not in curiosity. This is not about secrecy born from fear. This is strategy born from maturity. When God is forming something holy, he often wraps it in stillness, just like he did with Mary, who carried the promise of the world without ever demanding to be understood. So take this to heart, chosen one. What you hide in reverence now will one day be revealed in glory. And when that day comes, the fruit will make the announcement. Until then, let your silence be your sword. Chosen one, be warned with love and gravity. The enemy cannot cancel what heaven has ordained, but he can delay it if you grow impatient. The seed of destiny you carry is time-sensitive and sacred, and impatience is the tool that turns divine timing into open vulnerability. Heaven is not slow, it is precise. But when you speak too soon, move ahead of peace, or try to force what God has called you to wait for. You grant access to interference that never had authority in the first place. There are people around you, some well-meaning, some unaware, who are not equipped to hold what you're carrying. They will speak out of fear, out of logic, out of envy, or simply out of ignorance. And if you place the holy in their hands before it's ready, they may crush it, question it, or contaminate it. This is not because your promise is weak, but because timing is everything. Even truth spoken too early can be weaponized. You've come too far to miscarry now. You've endured the pruning, the wilderness, the stripping away, and heaven has seen your tears, your questions, your restraint. But don't lose what you've preserved through pain by rushing into public what God is still wrapping in grace. The enemy would love nothing more than to lure you into premature exposure, to bait you into explaining, defending, or proving what doesn't yet need to be proven. But you owe no one that. Your obedience is enough. Impatience whispers, they won't believe you unless you show them. But the Spirit whispers back, they don't need to believe. They'll see it when I reveal it. There is a day coming when the promise will speak for itself, when your alignment will bear such visible fruit that no argument, no rumor, no doubt will be able to overshadow the glory on your life. But if you try to speak before heaven breathes on it, you risk delaying what was already set in motion. So pause. Stay low. Stay hidden. The timing of your elevation has already been written, but heaven is watching your stewardship of secrecy. This isn't about being afraid. This is about being trusted. Can God trust you not to leak the blueprint before it's built? Can He trust you not to unwrap the gift before it's sealed? Can He trust you to hold the weight in silence until it's time to walk in fullness? The cost of impatience is not failure, it's delay. And delay for the chosen is always heavier than waiting. So let this be your quiet resolve. I will not speak before the Spirit releases. I will not move before peace goes before me. I will not let my mouth rob me of what my prayers have built. You are too close now. Don't give the enemy a seat at a table he was never invited to. Wait well, for when it's time, the unveiling will silence every doubt. Chosen one, the heavens are bearing witness. Something sacred is crowning in your life. A divine unveiling is on the horizon, and though the world sees only stillness, the Spirit sees a womb ready to deliver destiny. You are standing in a moment where the invisible becomes inevitable, not because of your striving, but because of your surrender. Not because of your exposure, but because of your restraint. This is not just a prophecy, it is a divine announcement. Wedding rings are being prepared. New keys are being handed down from heaven's treasury. The ground beneath your feet is shifting not to shake you, but to establish you. This is not random favor. It is strategic fulfillment. You are not being rewarded for being perfect. You are being entrusted because you stayed faithful when no one saw, when no one clapped, when no one affirmed. The glory that's coming to your life is not cosmetic. It is catalytic. It will not just decorate you. It will commission you. You are being positioned to carry something greater than happiness. You are being chosen to host the weight of purpose. And this is why silence has been demanded. Glory does not descend on noise. It falls on reverence. And reverence looks like restraint. God is not building you for applause. He is forming you for legacy. And those who carry legacy must be trained in secrecy. This is why your journey has felt hidden. Why your waiting has been long, why your heart has ached in rooms where you didn't belong. It was never rejection, it was divine insulation. Heaven's way of keeping the oil untainted until the time of outpouring. And now the sound of heaven is shifting. The trumpet has not yet blasted, but the whisper has changed tone. The silence you've been dwelling in is no longer a season of withholding it, is the final stretch before release. This is the place where roots push deep before the tree breaks through the soil. This is the place where labor intensifies before birth arrives. This is where prophecy begins to press through the veil into manifestation. Let this be declared over you now. You will not miss it. You will not forfeit it. You will not sabotage what has been appointed for your life. Your obedience has unlocked the realm of fulfillment. And the evidence will come not in a trickle, but in waves. Peace that passes understanding, love that echoes eternity, open doors that cannot be shut, divine alignment that no man can manufacture. But even in this moment of holy anticipation, the instruction remains. Guard the mystery. Hold the sacred in silence until the Spirit says, release. Because what is about to be revealed in your life will not need an explanation. It will carry the weight of heaven's fingerprint. And those who once doubted will say, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Chosen one, what you are carrying is not just a dream, it is a divine seed. Planted in prayer, nurtured in surrender, and now resting beneath the soil of silence, it is growing even when you cannot see it. The seed doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be protected. It doesn't need to be admired. It needs to be buried. Because in the hidden place, the hand of God is shaping what eyes have not yet seen. This is your sacred responsibility now to guard what heaven has planted. Do not expose it for validation. Do not broadcast it for approval. Do not place it in the light before it has roots deep enough to stand. Every promise has a gestation period. Every destiny begins in stillness. And if you try to showcase what is still in the soil, you risk losing what was meant to flourish. You are not being punished by silence. You are being preserved by it. What feels like delay is actually divine incubation. The quieter this season feels, the deeper the work. Just as Mary pondered the angel's words in her heart and carried the promise in secret, you too must cradle what God has whispered to you. The weight of it is not just in the outcome, it's in the discipline to carry it until heaven says now. So water this seed with worship. Guard it with prayer. Hide it in your spirit like a precious gem not yet meant for public display. The temptation to share it will rise. But remember, glory doesn't bloom where reverence has been abandoned. Stay anchored in trust. Let the soil of silence continue to shape the integrity of what is growing within you. And when the time comes, when the seed becomes fruit, when the hidden becomes visible, when the doors swing open and the covenant manifests, you won't need to announce it. The fruit will speak. The evidence will walk into the room before you say a word. And those who once questioned your quiet obedience will witness your public fulfillment. This is a holy process, one that not everyone understands. But heaven is not asking them to understand. Heaven is asking you to protect it. So hold your peace, keep your head down, and your heart lifted. Sow in silence, wait with reverence, and know this. Every moment you've held back from speaking has been a moment heaven has moved forward in building what's coming. Glory is coming, and it will rest upon what you dared to keep hidden until it was fully His, chosen one. The delay was not denial. It was healing. It was mercy in disguise. Heaven saw what you did not yet know how to name. The lingering wounds, the silent griefs, the ache of abandonment that shaped how you received love and how you protected your heart. And so God in wisdom paused what you were praying for to restore what you didn't know was broken. You asked for a partner, and heaven said, "Not yet." Not because you were unworthy, but because you were still mending. You asked for a move, and the Spirit whispered, "First, let me settle your soul." Because the kind of love and alignment that is coming requires a healed vessel to hold it. Not a perfect one, but a whole one. And now, after all the nights you cried alone, the walls you built, the moments you felt forgotten, now you are finally ready. Ready not just to be loved, but to let yourself be loved. Ready not just to be seen, but to stand fully visible without shame. Ready not just to receive a relationship, but to walk in a covenant that reflects heaven's heart. The scars that once made you feel disqualified have now become your wisdom. The silence that once felt suffocating has deepened your discernment, and the isolation that once broke your heart has created sacred space for intimacy with God. You will not enter this next season clinging to what hurt you. You will not carry the weight of past betrayals into your divine union. You will not bleed on the one God sends to bless you, because the healing has happened quietly, gradually, miraculously, and now the emotional clutter has been cleared. The fear has lost its grip. The bitterness has been broken. You are not the same version of yourself who begged for love in the past. You are no longer pleading. You are prepared. This is why the connection that's coming won't trigger your trauma. It will soothe it. It won't feel like performance. It will feel like peace. You won't need to strive to shrink or to prove. You'll simply show up as you are whole, surrendered and radiant in your truth. And the one God sends will see you not as too much, not as not enough, but as the one their soul has waited for too. So exhale. The inner war is over. You've been made ready not just to walk into promise, but to hold it without trembling. You are no longer fragmented. You are aligned. And heaven does not waste healed people. He sends them to build holy things. Chosen one, let this truth settle deep in your spirit. What you are about to walk into is not a trophy. It is a territory. The marriage and relocation that heaven is aligning for you are not rewards for surviving the wilderness. They are assignments, divinely timed activations of purpose that will unlock things in you, through you, and far beyond you. You were not preserved just so you could be happy. You were preserved to become useful to the kingdom. And the one who is coming into your life is not just a companion, they are a co-builder. This will not be a relationship centered on comfort, it will be centered on calling. Together you will host the presence of God in your home. Together you will pray, create, and build for heaven's agenda on earth. Together you will be a living testimony of what alignment looks like when heaven authors the script. And the place you're moving to, it is not just a house or a fresh start. It is holy ground. The Lord is planting you where your spirit can breathe freely, where your gifts can flourish without distortion, where the oil on your life can flow without resistance. There are connections, platforms, revelations, and resources waiting for you in this new place. You are being positioned not to retreat, but to expand. This is why the enemy tried so hard to keep you stagnant, distracted, or bound to the wrong people in the wrong places. Because he knew if you ever reached this alignment, he would lose access. But he failed. And now, heaven is about to put a mantle on your life that carries weight, visibility, and eternal consequence. But with that weight comes responsibility. That's why the silence was training. That's why the healing had to go deep. Because where you're going, superficial faith won't carry you. You'll need depth, discernment, discipline. And now you have it. Do not mistake this transition as an end. It is a beginning. It is the launching point of the very thing you were born for. The covenant will stabilize you. The move will situate you. But the assignment, that is where the fire will fall. God is building a house through you. One of honor, authority, and unshakable peace. A house where future generations will be shaped. A house where angels will linger. A house where the kingdom will come. So step forward, chosen one, quietly, boldly, holy. You are not chasing a better life. You are responding to a higher call. The marriage is ministry. The move is mission. The moment is now, and all of heaven is watching as you cross over from hidden preparation into holy manifestation. The silence protected the seed. The healing prepared the soil. And now, the rain is coming.